bull market. The previous board of the Ghana National Gas Company, led by Dr. Kwesi Botwe, challenged the move in what was considered as a power play. After several boardroom wranglings, a decision was arrived at by a resolution to retire all non-executive directors of the company.
Ghana Gas is going to continue to be very crucial in whether we are able to resolve our power crisis as a country. There are a lot of issues you are going to be confronted with. I've started them into 4 categories. There will be technical issues you have to deal with. Some of the issues you have to deal with technically has to do with the plant itself and the plans to expand that plant. As you know, there are plans to bring in more gas on stream. We are talking about the 10 project and the OCTP.
The 5-member new board, chaired by John Armstrong, include Alex Mould, Dr. Sipayanki, Vivian Kajekpo, and the paramount chief of the Eastern Nzema traditional area, Awulai Emihe Panyinile.
We have basically completed a merger. Ghana Gas must expand quickly enough to take the lean gas to supply to the thermal plants. The pipelines we have right now go 110 kilometers. They go all the way to Abuazi. Ghana Gas, working with GMPC, must quickly work to move the pipeline all the way to the thermal enclave.
We'll still stay with energy, and here the country manager of Cosmos Ghana, Joe Mensah, says gas is what will transform the country through energy generation. He indicated the oil company will stay with its investment in the country for a long haul for the development of the country in spite of the price volatility of crude oil.
At a media briefing in Accra, the country manager of Cosmos Ghana, Joe Mensah, stated the Trinibua Enyera Ntome 10 project is on course as scheduled, which will increase Ghana's oil production with its gas component as a transforming factor.
We have worked with the government and all the stakeholders over here to demonstrate that, in fact, gas is what can really change the landscape for us. So the significant investments that we've made here, Cosmos is going to stay with it for the long haul to ensure viability for our country.
Would Cosmos have invested in the country if the price of crude oil was as it is today, averaging $28 a barrel? And what pressure is the price volatility putting on their investment in the country?
For where we sit today and the investments that were made back then, we are still holding our own because of the hedging that we've done. If the price were that low then, I think it might cause people to pause a bit and then, try to manage in terms of how much they really put out there for investment.
Joe Mensah was concerned oil revenue was being spread thinly on several projects, thereby reducing the impact of the benefit.
I think that when the perception out in the field is that people are not feeling it, all of us, we use all of us in the industry to help make sure that that perception is changed, and where the value is coming from, people can feel it. We have been able to really push to the forefront as to the importance of gas and what it can do.
Cosmos Ghana in the fourth quarter of last year had $1.8 million of liquidity and $614 million on net debt. The company exceeded its target of 100,000 barrels a day to 102,500 barrels per day last year. Total capital expenditure for last year stood at $780 million.
All right, so just before we round up business tonight, the new Chief Executive Officer of TV3 Network Limited, Ray Inkwe, says compelling and innovative content for audience can be created if there is synergy between management and the content producers. He made the observation after touring some subsidiaries of the company here in Accra. Right, so we'll quickly be dashing to some other issues, but we'll be bringing the Ray Inquest story anytime soon. Here, the chairman of the National Development Planning Commission, Dr. Kwesi Botwe, says efficient management of Ghana's natural resources will ensure that needed revenue accrues to the nation to promote its development agenda. He was addressing officials of the Ministry of Petroleum when they took their turn to share their long-term development plan with the NDPC. The workshop forms part of the second phase of discussions to formulate a 40-year long-term national development plan for Ghana. Chairman of the NDPC, Dr. Kwesi Botwe, told journalists the Commission is undertaking broader consultations with the ministries, departments and agencies to adopt various shades of opinions and suggestions in order to ensure the final draft of the development plan is all-inclusive.
We are in this energy problem today because we didn't plan properly. All right? We want to avoid a repetition of the crisis by anticipating population growth, the expansion of industry, and the demand and supply trajectory, so that we can put together the institutional, the infrastructure that we need to bridge this gap, and the institutional arrangements that need to be made, as well as the regulatory arrangement and the financing that we need to put in place to ensure that the plan is properly supported.
The second phase of the stakeholders' engagement will deal primarily with policies, strategies, plans, enabling acts and related legal instruments and how MDAs can contribute to the long-term national development plan of Ghana. Director General of the NDPC, Dr. Nimoy Thompson, said the views received so far are commendable.
We want to understand the nature of the policies that they have, all the MDAs, and that should serve as a basis for the preparation of the long-term national development plan. 4
ministries, Petroleum, Power, Food and Agriculture, and the Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture, presented their long-term plan to the Commission. All right, so many thanks for staying with us on the business segment of the bulletin. We're coming back shortly. We'll give you nothing than the best of